Hello and welcome to another hobby vlog. Right, what am I doing today? Well, I'm still doing these ruddy guardsmen. I think they've featured on about 4 vlogs now. That's because I am just not quite finding the time. So I've sat back down to do them, refreshed my wet palette. Palette. And looking back at what I need to do. And the first thing that struck me is I'm not happy with the skin tone. Because looking at the contrast to the completed ones, to these ones, they're very different. Now I know I should be painting all sorts of different skin tones, but it's just making my life easier to make them more consistent. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to add some highlights with Kislev Flesh to try and get them to match there. I don't know why. I think my Sisters of Battle, right? They're, as well as the skin tone being consistent, they've all got the same colour hair. I like to think that they've got like one obligatory shade of hair dye and they have to do their hair each time, because it's not like it's been genetically altered by gene seed or anything. You know, it's like, sister, your roots are showing. Do 15 Side of the Aquillas and get the bottle of hair dye. Yes, Canoness. Oh, hello. Hello? No, you're thinking about it? No, you've changed your mind. Okay. So yeah, then I've only got a few colours left to do to finish these off. So I'm not going to dwell on these two, which they've already had plenty of screen time. And oh, you haven't changed your mind. Oh, get the cover on the thing. I don't want fur in the thing. That's right, I've just changed the water. So she comes to drink it. No, she's changed her mind again. Can't make her mind up. So once I've done that, actually no, I'm going to stick with the guardsmen for a minute. So here's all the stuff that I prepped a while ago. And yeah, I'm tragically going to get to paint very little of it. It's really frustrating, right? Because what I want to do now is I'm really into the guard. I want to paint all my guard. And they're fighting off against world eaters. I want to paint all my world eaters. But that way, very little content lieth. Because that's a lot of work for just a couple of bat reps, which is a frustration I am dealing with in... look at all these tape measures. Just look at them. That's what happens when GW make it cheaper to buy models in a box, in a game, than separately. Of course, it obviously makes perfect sense they make their starter game cheapy. Now, one challenge I've had whilst painting these guardsmen is the finish is all gravelly and it's inconsistent. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but I don't think the undercoat is thick enough, and it's sort of mottled and feels a little bit like sandpaper to run your finger along, and the paint takes to it in a really weird way. So, as frustrating as it is, I think I'm going to have to take all these guys downstairs and give them another coat. Otherwise, I'll be in grainy nightmare with all these. I mean, it's on the guns here, I've had to put layers of paint on to try and soak up the grain, and that's just not great. And yeah, they're really meant to look good this far away, but it makes them awkward to highlight because of the way the paint doesn't flow on the model. So, I think I'm going to have to take them all downstairs and give them another coat. And after I've done that, I'm painting this guy. A sorcerer just fell over with shock back there. I'm both looking forward to painting this guy and scared of him because he's a very detailed model, and I'm painting him with contrast. I don't want to mess it up. And what I'm not sure about, right, is if you look at this guy, I want the scheme to be the same, so my Nurgle Demons all have sort of something in common, which, you know, I think is great and is fine. I might do the sword different, though. I might do it sort of like mega rusty. So all of the bones are going to be in this sort of brown, which I'll have to look up in my notes what it was. So obviously I'm going to need to go and re-undercoat all the bits that need to be different colours, which is also fine. But what I don't know is if the contrast is going to work as well on this scale of model. I am concerned that it won't work on the scale. I'm also hoping I can just put the red over some of these patches. I don't want to have to repaint absolutely all of this in the base colour again. Maybe I'm just going to do the bone and then do the red on the flesh. And then it's how much I do with the... Oh, so this is a good example, right? So these are sort of bubo-y flesh pockets, which on a smaller model would look really cool. However, the contrast paint I've done them on, it's blotching a bit. And the question is, do I care about that? And do I need to highlight it? And if I highlight it, does that change the effect for the entire model? So that's my challenge. And at the same time, have I just broken it? I have. I've just broken his thing. God damn it, Paul. Be more careful. I'm going to finish off these little blighters. So these are also going to need a bit of highlighting on the tongues, teeth and horns. The rest of it should be alright. And then I need to work out which ones fit together and which ones don't. Fortunately, they're all unique shapes, these bases, so if they slot together, it's the right combo. If they there you go, that's the right one. If they don't, they aren't. But obviously, you can see it's much easier to paint these all as separate pieces than to try and do them in one go. So that, as they say, is that. So I'm gonna... Boop! You're in the queue. Hopefully I'll get to you today. There should only be an hour or two left on these guardsmen at most. And it's not even midday yet, and I've got all day. So, yeah. So hopefully we'll finish these, get transfers and flock. Maybe 3 hours on these. Then onto that guy and those little guys. I do need more Nurgle Demons. It's not enough just to have one of the starter boxes of Nurgle Demons. I need more. More! But then again, I need more of everything. Oh, hashtag sigh, hashtag too many projects, hashtag it's all good fun. Right then. So the guardsmen are mostly finished apart from the static grass. So that's going to happen in a minute. The Nurglings, I've just gone around and done my contrast thing on them with... What are the contrast paints? We've got snakebite leather on the horns, skeleton horde on the teeth, voluptuous pink on the tongues and stuff, flesh terrors red on the blood. Hello, Lemmy. And Nazrag yellow on the boils and the eyes. So that's alright, I've assembled those. I mean, they don't look super, they're not really as skanky as I might hope, but I mean these are skankier, but they're nicer models. So I would expect them to be skankier. Maybe what I need to do is put a little bit of Nurgle's rut on them, increase the skankiness significantly. Hello. So yeah, so they're mostly done. Just a bit of touching up and the bases to do. My challenge now is the big guy, because I'm halfway through him. I'd say I'm using the same colour set, and I've just been going around. Hello. It's just been dinner time, so she's just had her dinner and she's coming to say thank you. Have my dinner as well. Yum yum yum. I don't know why I said that. Now, is that a white spot or is that reflection? That looks like a white spot. No, it's a reflection. So I'm going around doing all the red. Oh, she's clawing at my arm. Oh, you want a fuss? Right, hang on. Let me turn this off. So, what am I going to tell you? So, yes, I've been filling in the exposed bits of skin, which is cool. Now, I'm not entirely sure what to do about the spine, because I've done the spine in Skeleton Horde, as you would expect, and then the blood, the tissue in Flesh Tearers Red. But I want to work out how I'm going to tie the two things together. I'm thinking if I water down some, what's it called, blood for the blood god, and just swathe it all over it, it should kind of look like there's blood sticking to the spine after the tissue's ripped open. Lovely. So I think I'm going to try that. There's also a lot of boils on his skin to put the yellow around. And then he's going to need a little bit of something else. So I think I'll be turning to the Nurgle's rot to just drip off things. Like where his horn is snapped, so I'll do a little bit of bone and blood to simulate the inside of the horn. And then maybe just trickle some Nurgle's rot down it, I think. His sword, I've painted a lead belcher and then covered in, what's it called, typhus corrosion. So I'm going to stipple it with riser rust and then edge it with one of the bright silvers to see if that works as a sort of corroded sword. If not, I don't know, I'll just play with it till it looks right. Okay, onward with the reddening of the broken skin. Right then, so stricken as I am with the attentive span of a particularly inattentive goat, I am not painting stuff on the desk anymore. I have come to assemble some Sector Mechanicus, yes, from my big stash of conquest stuff. I just wanted something to do to chill one day, and I didn't quite fancy the Necron pile. However, you might notice a bit more wobble on the camera than normal. So I'm experimenting with this thing that holds the camera because I've been getting pain in my thumb, and I think it's the way I hold the camera for filming on for extended periods. So I'm playing about with this thing that holds it for me, but just from looking at it, it's not particularly stable, and I don't know how well I am going to cope with being able to point it at the right thing. But we shall see. We shall see. So yes, stricken with lack of attention span, I have decided that what I'm going to do... Hello? Hello? Are you coming up? Hang on, let me switch hands with the thingy stick. Hello. Oh, you can see the floor is just as tidy as ever. I did say to myself on the first day of my holiday I was going to tidy in here. Today is the first day of my holiday. And to be honest, strictly speaking, I should probably be filming today, but I've had such... There you are. Oh yeah, have a good scratch. I've had such an insanely busy 2 weeks at work. I think my brain will just go, no, you're just not doing it. And I think the quality will be poor. And I don't like producing poor quality, so I am having a couple of days of just doing mindless stuff. So I am at the moment assembling Sector Mechanicus. Now I hope this will be relatively... Yeah, hello. Oh, I've got the windows open, so there's also outside noise. And flies. So many flies. I mean, what is their deal? So I'm hoping this is going to be relatively straightforward to actually paint, using a sort of hybrid version of the instructions that were in the Conquest set. If I spray the struts black, then heavily dry brush them silver, and then pick out some of the detail in like bronze or red, just to make some details pop out, they should be relatively straightforward to do relatively quickly. It's the same principle as the models, right? They need to look good from a distance, but there aren't going to be too many... Damn it. There aren't going to be too many close-ups on the... I guess this means if I'm using this, I'm going to have to start doing what Winters does and actually look through the camera. Well, that's going to be interesting. So yeah, so some of the details need to pop out, but the camera's not going to be particularly focused on them. They're going to be focused on the model, so they just need to look good as good backdrop. And then I think these door plates, if I spray them silver, and this is the instruction from the Conquest set, you spray them silver, and then paint the surface with, I think it was Rakarth Flesh. Note to self, buy more Rakarth Flesh. Then ink them and pick out a few details and do a bit of chipping. Then they should look good, because then you'll have all the bits in between the gaps being all silvery and pipeworky, and maybe pick out the odd one in a different colour just to make it pop, like maybe on this bit where it's a bit more open and the grill's not there. Then they should look good as platforms. The same principle applies to these ones. Do these silver and then pick out the panels in the appropriate dull colour, and then a bit of ink. The bits that hang underneath the pipes, just do those in silver, tiny bit of detail, bit of ink, bit of dry brushing. Shouldn't take too long at all. Now the intention is to not actually assemble it, to keep it modular. And I got this tip off Krieger, who said actually, because I had thought I was going to magnetise all of these to have predetermined sort of places where they would go on the side of these buildings, but he said, and quite rightly, that actually these are quite a snug fit anyway, so you don't have to do much to push them on. Now, of course, the risk there is that you end up chipping the paint, but actually revealing a little bit of this brown underneath, that might look okay. I guess I'll just have to see how that goes. I might need to maybe file the insides of some of these to make them a little bit of a lighter fit. Don't know. So that's the plan, is prep all of this stuff. The stuff in the box has been successfully prepped. The stuff out here still needs filing and scraping and stuff. So, hay fever's bad today, and I've just mowed the lawn. And yeah, you can see over there. Boom! You can see over there my stack of other scenery. That goes down to the bottom of that chair, if you can see from there. So I should have enough to do a good board of sets of Mechanicus scenery, and there's also the other bits in here. But these bits are more like sort of ammo crates and stuff. So obviously need to do those as well. The question is just how much that I do all in one go and how much I don't. But yeah, in theory, if I just prep these modular bits and give them a good undercoating, it should be a relatively straightforward activity to get them ready for the tabletop. In theory. And it does form part of my overall Necron plan anyway, because my objective with the Necrons is I want to do an AdMech Necron Eldar campaign. And scenery-wise, I need Adeptus Mechanicus scenery and I need Necron scenery. So it's all heading towards the same goal. So I'm not being quite as tangential as I otherwise would have done. The other option was paint more guard, and boop, you can see them there on the desk. That would have been much more tangential because I don't need those for anything. I just want them. I have a big guard dilemma at the moment. I'm really enjoying playing my Ultramar guard. And I want to book them out to be a full guard army. But I also want to build a generic guard army to use in campaigns on any planet I desire. And so when I'm getting excited and thinking, oh, I could do a Sentinel squadron, 10 Sentinels, and then I could do a Layman Rust squadron, or I could do this, and I could do a platoon and a full ground platoon and then an armored platoon and this and that and the other. And then I think, oh, I want to do it for both. Yeah. No. So, yeah. This is the particular aspect of Butterfly that is getting me today. So I think Audible have just released a new... I say new. They've just put the next one of the Gaunt's Ghost series on their list. So I'm going to listen to that and prep some stuff. Okay, so welcome to this part 3? Part 3? This Necron hobby vlog, whichever part number it may or may not be. And now I'm working my way through this stack before I spray undercoat what I've done so far. I think I'm going to get through the crypty bit and then spray it all. Yeah, that's the plan. So I've just opened up one of the boxes of Immortals. So the Immortals, I want to have 10 Immortals with the 2-barrelly gun and 10 Immortals with the big 1-barrelly gun. I have also got some Death Marks, but they are for the other. They're for a later part of the tomb. So let's have a look in the box. Let's have a look in the box. Transfers are interesting. It's the first time I've seen a transfer with a perforated sheet in the middle, so it folds in half. And these are all good Necron transfers. I like the way they've got the sort of like circuit board type scribble. I like that. And there's the sort of Necron symbols and the icons. The problem I have is I need to go back and look up what these individual symbols mean. I don't know if they are actually codified and one of these means immortal, one of them means something else. I also don't know where you would put one of these on this model. I have no clue. Or maybe a shoulder pad. Is that one there on his shoulder pad? Maybe. So that's something to go and look up. So, thingies. Box to refer to. I'll keep one box so I can look at it when I'm painting. Stand up box. Alright, what do these look like? They don't look too complicated. They've got one leg set. I did have a sort of horror thought that the legs might be on like 8 pieces. And the guns and arms appear to be a single piece of the torso. So we've got a front and a back. This is like the old Space Marine kit construction. Pair of legs, 2 halves of a torso, and then multiple gun options. I imagine the flayed ones are going to be a bit more monopose and a bit more prescribed about this has to go in with that and this with this and all that stuff. Where are the heads? Ah, here are the heads. What have we got? Yeah, okay, Deathmark heads. I like those. I think they're cool. And Immortal heads all the same. None of the battle damage that we see in some of the more modern Necron kits. Okay. Updated instructions with the different weapon options. How are these looking? Yeah, they look pretty straightforward. Simple glue snip thingy. Oh, you could follow the order here. Or really, does a particular Immortal have to go with a particular pair of legs? Or it doesn't look like it. It looks like maybe the torsos match. Yeah, look, the front torsos all match. These back torsos seem to match. Maybe it's the arm-torso combination that's the thing. Yeah, so it's just stick a pair of legs on a base, whack a torso on it. Appears to be the order of the day. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so it is a different day, and I'm not doing the building stuff anymore. My anxiety is pretty bad at the moment, so I am doing as much art therapy as I possibly can. I don't know why, but the thing that seems to most help my brain come back to normal is sitting and painting things. Building stuff sadly doesn't help, so I've got a pile of unfinished pipes on the table, which I'm mid-magnetising, but they will wait until the brain gets a little easier. So, these are the... Oh, hello! Hello! She might jump up, she might not. Who am I kidding? She's going to jump up. So these, however many it is, 12, 16 guardsmen and one guard character are enough to make my platoon up to 5 squads. So I've got a few more colours still to do, and then I've still got some silver to do on these, and then the white on the Imperial Eagles and a couple of other bits and bobs, but they are nearly done. Then my dilemma is around what to do next, because I'm painting these for the Chasing Serenity campaign, where rather than being guard, these will be used as it's PDF. And I'm trying to work out, because I've got over here, if I'd let me bring the tray over. Ugh. So, what have I got? I've got some rattlings. I've got some old metal ogrins. I've got a few more random guardsmen. I've got enough heavy weapons guys to do some special weapons teams. And I've also got a unit of old metal stormtroopers. I've actually got loads of these. I've got about 2 more units that need stripping. And I'm trying to decide 2 things. I've started painting them in the Ultramar colours, because I thought, well, I'll just call them stormtroopers, because stormtroopers always used to be a thing. But then I thought, well, if I paint them as scions, then in any other guard army I do, I can use them as well already. I don't have to do specific stormtroopers for each regiment, so that'd be handy. But then they would look odd stood next to the current plastic scions. So I don't know. Oh, she's butting my hand. What's a fuss? Don't you? And the same goes for the ogrins and the rattlings. So if I paint those in a more generic thing, it makes sense. The rattlings would need to have darker clothing because they need to hide. The ogrins, I don't think anyone with common sense would issue them with white trousers. So I think I could probably get away with doing that. But I also am not sure what I can realistically say, what to realistically paint for this campaign, because with it being PDF, I'm not so sure there'd be scions on the planet. I'm not so sure they'd have ogrins or rattlings. So actually, after I've done this, it might come down to doing these special weapons teams. Or actually going, hang on, I've done enough guard for the time being. Let's go on to the next project. Whatever the next project might be. I'm going to do another round of the War of the 10 Legions soon. So there are a couple of units I need to do. There's a couple of armies that are still pretty small, so I need to bulk them up. Although I have a cunning plan, I might be able to play some real-life opponents who already have their own armies. This is a novel concept, so I don't have to paint both of them. I'm going to do a mix of playing hammer and solo hammer, duo hammer and solo hammer. But I think I'm going to need to get my 1,000 suns up to 1,000 points, which means painting a few more rubrics and some spawn and rhino, I think. But finishing these is the first order of the day, then I shall ramble some more. Right then. So, it's a very, very, very warm day, and despite having a wet palette, my paint is drying in the palette before I can get it on the model. So, I've decided to come back to building and move outside, because I don't want to use words like nice, because they're very subjective. One person's nice is another person's, oh God, no! And I'm not terribly keen on the heat, I must admit, but I'm in the shade. And there aren't going to be too many days like this year, so I may as well experience it. You'll notice I didn't necessarily use the word enjoy. My lawn desperately needs mowing. Desperately needs mowing, and you can see there's a little patch where the dog Molly has murdered a bit of it. And there are other patches all over the lawn that you can't quite see because the grass needs mowing, that where I've had to repair it from the murderage. I digress. So what am I doing at the minute? I am assembling pipes, because I've been building, I can't remember if I've put this in this vlog or a different vlog or not vlogged about it at all. I've been assembling Sex Mechanicus stuff for a number of reasons. I want to use it as spaceship interior, because there are lots of narratives I want to do inside spaceships, so, you know, win. I want to do Mechanicus worlds, because as I've mentioned on more than one occasion, the plot I have in mind for my Necrons is Eldar Necron Mechanicus on a Mechanicus world, which happens to have a tomb underneath it. So I need Mechanicus terrain. And the third, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure there were 3 a moment ago. Could be anything. So I have, you may remember from a vlog a long time ago, I decried the lack of pipes that I had because GW had stopped doing them, and every kind soul in the universe sent me pipes, which was amazing. So I'm in the middle of prepping them. These ones are done because they were half done already. A little while ago I did my experiment with magnetization. Here we go. I've left a little standy thing out inside, so I can't actually the shade. I wonder if I do it that way and point the camera like this, you'll be able to see it better. So what I've done, I did the first thing I tried. I can't see what I'm doing. The first thing I tried was small magnets, but they didn't cut the mustard, so I went for 2mm by 1mm magnets and put them on the end of the pipe as well, because what I want to be able to do is, rather than gluing the pipe in place, which means I will then always have a left turn pipe, I'm able to magnetize them so I can switch them around. I'm super pleased with that. I think that's really good. But the thing I've got to be careful with is to get the polarity the same way on all of the straight pieces, so that all of the end pieces will fit to them. But then I had a realization that if I do that on all of them, then if I want to put any 2 straight pieces together, they won't go, because the magnets will say, magnet says no. So what I'm doing, I think, is I'm just magnetizing one end of each pipe and one end of each join. That way I can put the magnetized end of that join to the non-magnetized end of that one. Okay, it means I can't do it that way around, so if I wanted the strut off to the side, I couldn't have it, but that's the lesser of 2 evils. So yeah, now this one I don't think I need to magnetize, because that's just designed, I think, as a downward one. I think I can just leave that as is, because I think it will be fun to do them all magnetized and have it all clickety clickety click, but I think with the polarity of the magnets I will cause myself more problems than problems will be solved by doing it that way. The other dilemma I have is with the standy bits. where to put them. Because the other thing, you see, if I wasn't doing the magnets, I did consider, well, I can put that on a stand. But there's only enough stands for 2 per pipe. And they don't really stand up terribly well. But I thought I could do 1 per pipe. And okay, they're a little bit wibbly wobbly, they're a bit weebly, but actually when you get them all pushed together, they're probably okay. Probably okay. And I think that's kind of cool having the stand at the end. But then the dilemma with this is you can't put the stand over this sideways thing, it just doesn't fit. So you've either got to just have the one in the middle, or, and it's what I've done with my other ones, is you have the stand at the end like that, which means you then have enough room to click another one into it. But I'm not sure if there's going to be enough room once they're actually sprayed, because the paint takes up a bit of space. As odd as it may sound, it does. So, what I might end up doing with the pipes that have got this turn on this piece is actually just end up doing one in the middle anyway. Which then means, why bother doing all the magnetising? Because I'll have enough spares to do that. And even the wibbly wobbly one, that will still work. I'm now doubting myself as to whether I want to do, whether I want to bother with the magnetisation. But I'm going to have to do some magnetisation because, where's it gone? If I want the end pieces, the broken pipes, that I can't put those on a stand. I suppose I can have an extra stand at the end, but then I'm back to the slotting it in once it's painted malarkey, which I'm not overly keen on the idea of. So given I'm going to have to magnetise a whole bunch of the pipes anyway, I may as well do the magnetisation on the corner joints. The first thing I've got to do, get all these out of the way, these ones are all done already, is I've got to file them. There's a lot of filing to do there, so I'm going to let my subconscious work on the problem whilst I file them. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I've remembered the third thing, Necromunda. I want it for Necromunda, because then I don't have to do a separate terrain set for Necromunda. I can use all the Mechanicus stuff for Necromunda. Then all I have to do is get a couple of gangs. I've already got a couple of gangs. Build and paint them. That's the difficult part. Learn the rules. Now, who am I kidding? That's the relatively easy part. Learn the rules and then do a Necromunda campaign. But I don't know how close to Pipe Dream that is or not. But I think the thing I'm doing at the moment, because I've just sat down, and it's blown over. I've just sat down and worked out my schedule for the next few months in terms of videos to film, and what to release when, and so on. And I'm trying to keep it to stuff that I don't actually have to build and paint. So in theory, I can just blast my way through all my terrain. That's probably a few months' work in and of itself, but that's kind of the way I'm leaning at the moment, is blast my way through the terrain, and then it gives me lots and lots and lots of options. But in and amongst that, I've got Mechanicus terrain, I've got general 40k terrain, I've got Necron terrain, I've got Orc terrain. There is an awful lot of terrain to do. So I don't know if 1 3-week holiday is going to cut it. Well, who am I kidding? I know it's not. What'll probably happen is I'll probably be like an eighth of the way through all the projects and have finished none of them by the end of it. That's my home run swing. So here is what the pile currently looks like. This is the last kit to do, apart from a Sky Shield landing pad, which isn't technically set to Mechanicus, so no, don't know if I'm doing it. Oh my god, it's going to take so long to paint all of this. We've got hemotropes, we've got reactors, we've got long pipes, short pipes, lots of stanchions, lots of walkway pieces, some crates that were in the garage. So many bits and bobs. What's that? Some kind of thing. Got a bit of a dilemma with this one, whether or not I build the whole kit and glue it, so it's always that thing, or whether I try and make it modular, which basically gives me another one of these, another one of these, which is acting as a handy rubbish receptacle at the minute, and then this sprue of broken bits, which would be really handy to be able to just plug and play into other walkways and stuff. But I'm not sure if I'll just be able to plonk these on and line these up without that falling over and so on. So I don't know. I should probably do it all separately, and then if the practicalities just aren't there when it comes to actually using them in the game, then I might start to glue some of it together. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Right, so I'm going to crack on with that, and that is where we leave it for today's hobby vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more hobby vlogs, check out channel memberships. My Necron hobby vlog is running there, exclusive for, say, Hypor channel members. Also chock full of exclusive battle reports and stuff. If you're interested in getting involved in our community, there is a Discord available to channel members. So yeah, we're going to leave it there for today. I'm going to finish building this, then I'm going to spray it all. Oh dear. Okay, stay safe everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.